So let's have a look at practice. Just going to give you a second to read the quote. And I want you to have a think about what you think this means. Now, the difference for me between ordinary and extraordinary lies in deliberate practice. While practicing is as much as possible is important, for me, aimless repetition can lead you astray. True progress comes from focused, intentional practice that aligns with the standards of a top player. By refining your approach and understanding what excellence truly requires and looks like, you can ensure your efforts translate into meaningful growth. Every top player follows a process, whether it's in or out of possession. It's a cycle, a rhythm, a formula for success. We break it down into 8 key actions, as you can see here. Firstly, let's have a look at what happens in possession. And the first action is scan. Now, great players don't just look, they scan. We encourage players to scan 7 to 8 times every 10 seconds and at least 3 times in the last 5 seconds before receiving the ball. But just scanning isn't enough. It's about knowing what you're looking for. Where's the ball? Where's the danger? And where's the next move? Action 2, move. Movement is key. At position specific, we break it down into 3 categories: beyond, beside and below. This is underlined by 9 individual movements, 3 single and 6 double. Now, just focusing on the 3 Bs, beyond is an aggressive run forward, trying to advance the play, winning the back of your direct opponent or unit. Beside is a lateral movement to create space to provide diagonal passing options, which allows you to break the line or your mark, or to come back and recycle. And then below is dropping deeper to receive the ball, or to create space beyond. Now, every movement has intent. It's about being available, creating options, and staying unpredictable as a player. Action 3, receiving. Body positioning determines what happens next. An open body allows you to progress the play forward. That could be a dribble, pass, cross, or shot. A closed body is where you look to protect the ball and find your way out to allow you to dribble, pass, cross, or shoot. Action 4, release. Now, this is the final action in possession, and it's purely focused around passing, crossing, and shooting with quality. Now, think about this as a player. If you scan, you move effectively, receive with an open body, which will then allow you to release the ball with confidence and quality. So what happens with out of possession? The process remains very similar, but the focus shifts slightly differently. So looking at the first action, scan, just like the in possession. But these are the things that you need to focus on. Where is the ball? Where is the danger? But where is your teammates? So unit. So if you're a defensive midfielder, what is happening around you? Where's the centre backs? Where's your midfield unit? Action 2, move. Now, instead of us just calling this move, we call it counter movements. Now, movement isn't about creating space now. It's about closing down space and being able to dominate your individual duels while shifting across the pitch to fill critical areas. Action 3, dictate. The best defenders don't just react, they dictate the game. We talk about deny. So deny passing lines, deny them space. Delay your opponent progressing and deflect the play where you want it to go. Always be in control. And then action 4, defend. Finally, this is the ultimate goal, winning the ball back cleanly. Now, whether that's a perfectly timed tackle, or you're stepping in to intercept it, or forcing your opponent into a mistake, defending is all about regaining control. Watch any elite player and you'll see this process in action. For me, it's what separates the good from the great. Master this and you'll take your game to the next level. And in this slide, we just want to demonstrate how this process works within the performance wheel, emphasising that it operates as a continuous cycle. The key aspect I want to highlight is the personal possession rings surrounding both wheels. This represents the ability to regain control and stay within the cycle. Now, we get asked this question all the time. Where is your 1v1 duels, your dribbling practices? Now, we have a separate model to this, which links to the foundation. So we see this should be part of any player's foundation. So we have broke up Brilliant Basics and Personal Possession as a separate course. Now, as you can see here, we have the personal possession wrapped around both performance wheels. Now, the personal possession allows you in and out of possession to stay within an effective cycle. So, for an example, in possession, actions like scanning, moving, receiving, and releasing are all interconnected. And each of these actions can be broken down at any time, whether it's a poor movement, a misplaced pass, or the opposition's defending is strong. But you must rely on your personal possession to recover. This allows you to re-enter the cycle and continue working through the performance wheel effectively. So how does it work with out of possession? So it's a similar process applies. If you scan, you move, you dictate, and you defend, you may still find yourself in a position where you win the ball, where you need to then get yourself out of that direct pressure. So you need to rely on your personal possession skills to find ways to get out and find a pass or dribble to then allow your team to stay in control. Now, for us, this cycle is what keeps top players consistently engaged in the game, adapting to challenges and making the right decisions in and out of possession. And as we go through the class, you'll start to see how players work through these individual processes, reinforcing the importance of staying in control by using effective personal possession. So let's look at in possession. And this was a quote that I mentioned earlier. A player who scans, moves effectively, and receives with an open body correctly will release the ball with confidence and quality. Now, in this part of the class, we'll run through each action in possession, scanning, moving, receiving, and releasing, and we'll show you an animation and then some clips of a defensive midfielder working through the process. So if I just play the animation, you'll clearly see that the defensive midfielder is working through the scanning process. So where is the ball? Where is that direct danger, which can come from a 360 angle as a defensive midfielder? So that's why it's critical to have your head on the spin. And where's the next move? Now the animation will link to where a defensive midfielder mostly plays their passes. Now, just looking at the clip, we're going to use Rodri for Spain. Now, I also want to highlight in here is it doesn't have to be in the order of ball danger next move. It's just making sure that you're getting your head on the spin 7 to 8 times every 10 seconds, but taking in this information, which then will help you move into a better position. So this video will just show the process. So looking at where the ball is, where the danger is, and where the next move is. And also in this clip, if we was to zoom in, you'll see that they are scanning 7 to 8 times every 10 seconds. It doesn't have to be a full head tilt. You'll see that top players will also micro scan. So that's keeping your head where they are, but just using the eyes. Action 2, moving. Now I'm just going to put a line across the direct opponent as you can see here. So depending on the opposition's shape and how they set up in a defensive organisation will dictate where your movements go. So sometimes you might work off the back of 2 players, you might work off the back of a forward, but just in terms of this animation, just want to show you the direct movements off your direct mark, which is an attacking midfielder. Now, utilising these movements provides 3 advantages when you're working below, beside and beyond. So the idea is that you're creating angles for yourself to receive the ball, which you can see the below and beside and beyond movements going on in the animation. The second thing is creating space for your teammates to step in. So for instance, if you was on the right hand side of the pitch where it is now, the left hand side centre back opportunity to step in, or one of your attacking midfielders to drop in. So you're creating space for other players. And then finally, it makes you unpredictable and difficult for the opposition to pin you down. So utilising all these 3 movements, depending on how the opposition's set up, it's all about creating space for yourself, your teammates, and making sure that you're unpredictable and difficult to pin down. So just looking at the first clip. Now, because the opposition are pressing with a deep line and they've got 2 forwards, this is where your movements will come in below to just dictate the play. So shifted below to get on the ball, look to progress. As the ball's gone forward again, just shifting across to support below the ball to just keep dictating the play and recycling the ball. Again, the opposition are in a deep block, so your movement might come off the forward rather than the midfielder. As you can see here, just a little side movement beyond the forward just to create that little space to then get on the ball and look to play forward. And then finally, just looking at a movement beyond. So again, this is beyond his direct mark, and also when an extra player jumps and presses the back line. So as you can see, scanning, moving, working that angle beyond. Wasn't the best pass into the player, which stopped them from progressing, but the video gives you a clear idea of movements beyond. Action 3, receiving. So your first thought should always be, can I receive with an open body to progress the player or switch the player? So in this animation here, you can see the first pass on the diagonal, blind side of the mark, receiving the diagonal pass, open up, looking to progress. The second scenario is same side as the ball, direct pressure from behind, and this is where your closed body comes in to protect the ball and then still find the free player. So just 2 quick clips. So the first one is an open body to switch the player. As you can see, they've scanned, moved into a good position, receive with an open body, which then allows them to play a clean, quick pass to switch the player and put their team and the attack down the right hand side. The second one, the ball scrambles around in a transition, and this is linked to closed body and personal possession. So you can see how he's stuck his body between the ball and the defender, but also aware of where the free player is, which allows him to come out of the pressure and then find the pass, which then allows the team to regain control. And into the last action in possession, releasing skills. In the animation, we're going to give you a tactical insight, and in the clips, we're going to have a look at the technical side of it. Now, in this animation, we're going to focus on playing through, around, and over. Now, as a defensive midfielder, you are involved in most playing through patterns. We have 6 playing through patterns. We're not going to run through that in this class because that's in our game model. So if you do want to get any more information, go and check out the game model class. But when we're talking about playing through for yourself, it's playing between the 18-yard boxes. Playing around is looking to switch the play and use your fullbacks and wide forwards. And then playing over is if the opposition give you the space to allow you to play beyond. Now, what I will say is it's important for you as a player in terms of releasing. So if you work through that scan, move, receive, then when you're moving into your release, it's important to understand whether you're playing through, around or over, and then mastering these skills. Now, whenever you're playing over, we encourage our players to play passes that takes out the goalkeeper. That means when you play over the top, try to play into a position where the goalkeeper cannot come and sweep the ball up. Again, if you want any more information around this, go and check out our game model. That'll give you a better insight around the 6 ways of playing through, 5 ways of playing around, and the 4 ways of playing over. So let's have a look at one of the techniques of releasing, and this is the punch pass. So you can see that the player scanned, moved into a good position, received with an open body, which then allows them to look to play forward. Now this is a punch pass with the inside of the foot. That's punched in with pace and quality, but also with a bit of disguise. So you can see how he's opened up his body, and then the defensive team don't know whether he's going to switch to play or play through. But you can see punches the ball cleanly across the grass, which allows a team to progress. The second pass is a slide pass. Now, when we're talking about slide passes, this is playing the ball into space for a teammate to run onto. First of all, in the video, wins the ball, finds herself in that personal possession, escapes to then progress, which then gives them the opportunity to play the slide pass for the winger to run onto. So that's a great clip showing you the cycle from out of possession to in possession with a touch of our personal possession in there. And then last of all, the driven pass, which tends to be the one over the top or a switch of the play with the laces. Making sure the ball gets there quickly so the opposition cannot reset. Now it's key from a young age that you master all these skills. And again, you can go and check out all our other models, so foundation around the brilliant basics. We've got the youth models as well, which will also help you get a better understanding of how you can work through all these actions to help you as a player.